So when I got to California, the sun didn't even rise yet, and I got very homesick. I'm a native New Yorker, and...
Had you ever been to California?
No.
This is the plaintiff, Caroline Syracusa. She says she rented a room in the defendant's apartment, and the woman started acting crazy almost immediately. She made fun of the way she dressed. She threatened to shoot her, and then said she was going to call the cops and claim she was a homeless person who snuck into her apartment. Obviously, she's crazy, so she left and is suing for $600 for a rent refund. This is the defendant, Angela Benanti. She says the plaintiff is the kooky one because she refused to move out of the room she rented her, and she had to go to her local cops to tell them the woman was squatting. She has some nerve suing her today for money she never paid. She can't wait for the judge to rule in her favor, and she can't wait to see the plaintiff walk out of here with nothing. She's accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Caroline Syracusa. You are suing Angela Benanti, your former landlord, I guess, and kind of friend, for $600, the amount that you say you paid her for rent, and she refuses to return after not letting you stay there. Tell me what happened.
On January 6th, well, I didn't know her. I was connected to her through a friend. She had an ad out on Facebook, so we were connected. She was renting a room for $600. I went to her house on January 6th. We signed a receipt, and she agreed to rent me the room, and I moved in on January 16th, at which time she drew up another contract, and I signed it. I started to live there, and then one night on January 31st, she came home from work late, and she woke me up for a cigarette, and she started screaming at me and with offensive things, and she told me that she didn't want a roommate anymore to get out. So, you know, I didn't know what to do. I made an irrational decision, and I booked a flight to California. I knew a promoter out there who said they would help me get work. But when I got to...
What kind of work?
I am a background actor and a print ad model. So, but when I got to California, I got very homesick immediately.
Wait, so you literally, she tells you on the 31st of January, you need to leave, and you leave that minute?
Well, not that minute. I waited a few days.
Okay.
By February 6th, I was on the plane.
Okay.
Like I said,
and she returned your security deposit?
She did.
And that was how much?
$600.
Okay, so go on.
So when I got to California, the sun didn't even rise yet, and I got very homesick. I'm a native New Yorker, and...
Had you ever been to California?
No. No. So I called her.
Okay.
Well, she started texting me from her vacation. She was in Florida and telling me how much she learned from me, how much I inspired her. So then I told...
How so? What had she said she had learned from you?
Well, sometimes she used to come home complaining about life from work, and I used to just tell her, you should be grateful, you know, you have a beautiful home, family, friends. I said, how would you like to be, you know, me for the day, you know, and you should just be grateful. So, you know, she would say nice things to me in the text from Florida.
But what happened? What happened from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde? Like, what was a...
I don't know. So then I begged her. I told her my story. I called her, and I begged her. I said, please, I need to come back to New York. I'm homesick. I have nowhere to go. Can you please, you know, can I please come and rent the room again? She said she was going to take a vote between her friend Tommy and her girlfriend Anna.
Why, were they living with you guys?
No, but they were all
but she
friends.
wanted their advice.
I believe they liked me, you know. I
Okay.
didn't cause any harm to anyone.
Okay.
On February 12th, she sent me a text telling me she gave it a lot of thought, and I can come back, rent the room for a month. All she will take from me is 1 month's rent. I don't have to give her security.
Okay.
On February 13th, her friend Tommy picked me up at the airport and brought me back to her
Tommy?
home.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
At which time she told me I had 4 days to get out till Friday. So now, you know, I'm panicking now because in New York City, things just don't happen like that overnight. You don't find an apartment, especially with the rents. That's why I'm renting a room, because the rents of apartments are very expensive. So she suggested, she created a GoFund page for me, and we did that.
Wait, a GoFund page for you for what?
To help me, you know, I have a
raise rent money?
Yeah, I have a fan base out there who followed me. So she
Wait,
said,
a fan base from what? Your print ads or
yeah,
your...
from what I've done in the past, my work, you know.
Would I recognize anything that you've done?
I've been on quite a bit of shows.
Can you name one? Can you name a couple for me? Just
Law and Order, Blue Bloods. There's a new show on HBO called The Deuce. I'll be premiered in Orange is the New Black in June. I have my resume.
What role are you playing? I love that show.
I'm going to be just a new prisoner in the gray uniform.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be getting an orange uniform. And I was very prevalent on The Sopranos back in the day.
How did you hit such a rough spot?
I don't know. Life just, you know, life took a bad turn on me.
All right. So you moved back to New York, and just as soon as you come in, she says you have 4 days?
Yes.
Okay.
So then it's Wednesday, and her girlfriend, Anna, who I happen to like very much, I talked to her that morning when she went to work. I said, please, talk to Angela. There's no way I can do anything in 48 hours. Angela talked to her that night, and the next morning, on February 16th, it was a Thursday, when she went to work, and Anna told me, go get the money ready. She says she's going to tell you could stay for the month, but don't tell her I told you. At which time, my friend was helping me, so he wired me $500, which I have the receipt, and I have a letter from him stating what he did. And then I went to my bank account and withdrew $100. I had the $600 waiting in the bureau. She came home that night, and she said, Camille, I want to talk to you. And Anna and Tommy were in the apartment. And I already knew she was going to tell me I was going to stay. And she told me I could stay only till April 1st. That's it. And then
and the day that she's telling you that is what day?
February 16th.
Okay.
She said, give me $600, no security. I ran in the room, I got the money, and she even made a sarcastic comment and said, you had the money already? I said, yes, I did. But I wasn't supposed to know. Okay, so now I'm hustling and I'm trying to find an apartment and I'm setting, so March 2nd I wake up and I have an appointment with the real estate and I come outside and she never wakes up early, but she was up early at 8:30 in the morning. I forgot to tell you, while I rented this room, I wasn't allowed to watch her TV. I wasn't allowed to make noise. I had to stay in my room. I provided my own food. I bought my own food and I cooked it in the microwave because I ate Weight Watchers dinners every day or sandwiches. And I had to eat them in my room. And if she heard me on the phone or heard me walking, like my heels or something, she'd yell, I hear you, I hear you. So
why would you want to go back there? I mean,
again,
you don't have a single other friend in New York?
Well, you know, it was very hard, and you know, at that time, I don't know what was happening. I just ran into a brick wall.
Okay, so what happens? You gave her the $600, and what does she do?
She took it.
Okay, and then what happens after that?
March 2nd, I wake up, she starts making fun of my outfit. She goes, where are you going all dressed up like that? I said, I have an appointment with a real estate agent. So she turned around out of the blue, and she said, how about I shoot you? So I looked at her, and I said, what are you talking about? She goes, better yet, how about I call the cops and tell them you broke into my apartment, a homeless woman broke into my apartment. I said, you can't do that. I have proof I live here. I have a piece of mail. So she took a stack of mail on her table, and she told me it was my mail, and she was ripping it up. And at that time, I was crying. I was waiting for a bank card, paychecks. So I started crying, and I said, what are you doing? You know, and she kept just ripping it up.
Was anybody else there during that?
Anna was there, her girlfriend.
Anna's not in court today, right?
No.
Okay, go on.
I ran out crying because I had to meet the real estate agent, and then she started barraging me with text. I want you out by the end of the week. Then it went from the end of the week
But
to
what do you think was the reason for the all of a sudden change in...
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me hear from you. What's going on? According to her, she paid you rent and then you threw her out. Tell me what is happening.
So far, everything's correct, what she said, except the $600 that she gave me when she came back. I met her through a friend, okay, on Facebook that said she needed a place to live right away, so I helped her out to have a 2-bedroom co-op.
Right, and then she lives there, everything's fine, you give her back to security, she goes to California, she comes back. Let's take it from there. She comes back,
so she comes back.
Under what circumstances did she come back?
I said that I will give you 4 days to stay in my apartment.
Do you have a text that shows that?
Probably not.
Why not? If that's what you said, because you
guys
text.
No, I spoke to her on the floor.
I have 8 inches of text, so I know you guys text to each other.
Okay,
so,
I was in Florida. I was speaking to her on the phone to see if she got to California okay. So with that being said, when she came back, her mother wouldn't help her, her brother wouldn't help her, and her sister wouldn't help her. Stay there. So I said to her, I'll help you out. I'll give you 4 days because your mother said to you that you can go to Manhattan and stay with your aunt. She went there with Tommy to the apartment. She came back. She said, I don't like it. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no this. There's no that. So I went to my local precinct to find out how long before somebody stays with me where they become a squatter.
How long can someone who is staying as your guest be there before they become a squatter and have a right to make you evict them?
Right. Okay. 30 days. So I said to her, Caroline, you have to move out. You have to leave. And she got upset. She moved out. I don't know where she went.
Did you take her $600?
No, I didn't.
She says Tommy was present. Tommy, stand behind the microphone, not to a side. Just stay right there. Don't move.
Yes.
All right. Tommy, were you present when she gave her $600?
No, I was not.
Do you recall any talk about having given her $600?
No.
What was your impression of the arrangement when she came back from California?
When she came back, it was just I take pity on you. The arrangement she had in California was a nightmare for her because of the drug use. So she called up.
What drug use?
There was a lot of drug use at the place that she went to in California, so she's begging to come back. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. I picked her up at the airport. She was crying the whole way back. I told her, you can't stay at Angela's. You have to find another place.
With that being said...
Here's my concern, though. I'm looking through 8... Hold on, I'm talking. I'm looking through about 8 inches worth of text back and forth between the two of you, and there are numerous occasions where she says to you, can you please give me back 400 of the 600? That's all I want to discuss. That's what I want to discuss. Every time she says, I'm gone, perhaps you are thinking more clearly. I gave you $600. I need 400 of it back. It's only right. It's my lifeline now. I'm on the street. Instead of saying, what the heck are you talking about? Your response is, where are my keys? The next time she says it, which is a little bit later, I've seen better days. The apartment fell through. Do you think you would reconsider giving me back $400 of my money? I could really use it. Your response isn't, what the heck are you talking about? It's, so you got an apartment? Good for you.
Right, I won't entertain that because it's not true.
What do you mean you won't entertain that? Like, I would expect somebody to say, you're out of your mind. I'm sorry, can you hear me talking? Because you're talking over me and it's annoying me.
Okay.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Okay. I would expect when someone says something that out of the blue and nutty that never happened.
But it's there on the text.
Normal, not until the 5th time she says it and asks you for the money. It is there. It's eventually there when she's talking about, that's the only thing I want to talk about. Talk about this with me. Why aren't you giving me back? Then you say, I don't know what you're talking about. You never gave me money. I presume that you never got a receipt, correct?
No, ma'am, because...
we were friends.
No, we were not friends.
Oh, well, then why wouldn't you get a receipt?
Because I was very emotional that night.
Listen, you still got to engage in the business of life.
I forgot.
Okay? We all go through a tough time. I'm very sorry. You know, of all the tough times that I've heard about, yours is kind of the lightest. Okay? No offense. I don't know what's going on inside here, but I do know that cash doesn't leave this hand without a receipt coming into this hand. It would be so great if you had any evidence of having given the $600. You said Tommy was there. You said Tommy liked you. Tommy says he never saw you give $600.
Her girlfriend was there too, Your Honor.
I know, but so when did Tommy all of a sudden, gang up on you like this?
I can't answer
because
that.
Tommy could just skip from coming here today and kind of stay neutral.
I have the wire transfer receipt from my friend, a letter
that will prove that you got the money.
I have a letter from the man that called her that morning that sent me the money, and she spoke very rudely to him. He asked her if she received the $500. She said yes, and he mailed me a letter, and he put his phone number there.
Let's see that. When you say an answer to her that she has proof, your answer is maybe the stupid that wrote to me. Who were you referring to?
Oh, she had a friend of hers on Facebook contact Anna and cursed her out and everything. And I said, well, why are you calling Anna?
Aren't you guys a little bit old for this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, this is very
That's what I said. Why don't you just
middle
call me?
schoolish.
If I owed her $600, I have a decent job, I would pay her $600. It's principle.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you rent a room from somebody who said, well, they were there, you could not leave the room, you'd have to eat in the room? Would you do it?
No, I would not.
What if the price was really good?
No.
What do you say?
No. In fact, I'm going through it now. I'm renting an Airbnb, and they want me to stay in my room, and so I'm out of that room.
This is a thing?
Yeah, it's right now where I'm going, what I'm going through, so no.
Who knew? Going inside the courtroom.
If it's so principle, why don't you deny it any of the many, many times that she says it?
You know what? I work. I don't have time to entertain all these messages.
Oh, but you did respond to if you had not responded at all, I would hear what you're saying. Each time she said it, you just changed the subject. Instead of answering what the lady had said and saying, you're crazy, that never happened. Tommy, look at me.
Yes.
Look at me.
Yes.
You're under oath here.
Yes.
Okay? You're friends with both of them. You're obviously on that
Yes.
side of the table.
Yes.
All right? But you don't want to perjure yourself here.
Yes.
And I don't want you to perjure yourself to me. That would make me so upset. Did she give her $600?
I was not present. I never saw it.
Did she ever admit to are you under the impression that $600 was conveyed? That's
No.
a very specific question.
No.
Okay.
No one ever mentioned any money being transferred. So this is out of the blue for me.
Did you ever have a conversation with either of them after the fact about money?
No.
Okay. There's a text from you to her on February 12th. Okay, this is my situation, you say. I've done a lot of thinking and praying about it, and I have decided to let you stay with me for 1 month. With that being said, I will try to help you and see if we can find you a permanent residence in my building or somewhere else. But I don't want a full-time roommate. Would 1 month help you? You do not need to give me security deposit. Just 1 month's rent. That's all I can handle.
Okay.
At this time.
I didn't take money from her because she didn't have money. That's why we set up a GoFundMe
What
page.
went so wrong between you guys?
Well, I only know her maybe
a
month and a half.
Yeah, I know, but you let her into your home. So what went so wrong between letting her into your home, whether it's for 4 days for free or for a month for rent, what went so wrong that everything soured?
When she first came to my apartment, she told me she was this actress, and she goes to work 3 days a week, and then she goes away. For 3 weeks straight, she never left my apartment. So that's when I said, this is not going to work. So then I asked her to move, and she became very angry. And she said, okay, I'm moving to California. And then she came back.
But then you let her back.
I felt bad for her. I did. Okay.
But why would you feel bad for her? I see your text to her saying that you miss her quirky ways or whatever.
Yeah, she's a nice person. I don't have any, she's a very nice person.
So then what happened to change that?
I just didn't want anybody full-time, and I didn't want a squatter in my house, period.
Okay, we're done. You know, my job as a judge is to figure out which of the two of you is lying. That's usually what the job is, right? I have one side saying one thing, I have another side saying another thing. Sometimes I have witnesses who help. Sometimes I have witnesses who look like they're going to help one side or another and then become Switzerland. So I have to go on my hunch. This is not a criminal case. The only thing that the plaintiff has to prove is that it's more likely than not. That's the standard of proof in a civil case. When I look at the fact that there are repeated texts talking, but not one, not two, but like 4 or 5, to none of which you deny having received money, none of which you deny having received money, that makes me go, all right? It does. And when I see a text that you send her on the eve of her flying back out here, saying, all right, I've done a lot of soul searching and thinking. All I'm going to need from you is 1 month's rent, which is exactly what she said she paid you. And then, you throw her out of there before that. I think that the $400 request is not an unreasonable request. I believe she paid you the $600, and I'm going to order you to pay her $400 back. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff prevails. She gets $400 back. Here comes the defendant now. What do you think about what the judge said?
She's a very good actress. That's what she does for a living.
Well, no, never did deny anything about money, you know? And that's really what was the key here.
Correct.
So it's, sorry about that, but...
I just wish her the best.
Yeah, okay, I guess everybody does. Why not? And you got involved, but you didn't...
Well, I got caught in the middle, and I had to defend my friend.
Okay, well, there you go, your friend. Okay, thank you very much. Now here comes the plaintiff. You've had a rough road to hoe, no question about it.
How are you?
I'm good. You feeling better now?
I am. I was kind of hoping that the judge would see through a liar, and she did. So I feel very relieved.
Well, good. I'm glad of that.
It's about time I have a little good luck.
You need a little bit,
Yeah.
Is your career picking up, Annie? What's happening?
Well, I just submitted to 8 castings for 5 days of work, so let's keep our fingers crossed.
All right, good enough.
But
Thank you
every
very
day
much.
I wake up with a positive attitude.
Good for you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Good luck now. Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, the judge said more likely than not in this case. That means basically you tip the scales like 51, 49%, and you win. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Siobhan Wilson. She says she gave the defendant a friend of a friend her bank card and passcode so she could get money from her account to bail her out of jail. And after she got out, the woman stole the money. That's right. She was sure she could trust her, but now realizes how dumb it was on her part to do so. Bottom line, she's owed $700, and she wants it from the woman today in this court. This is the defendant, Cameo Crap. She says she gave the money to the jail, signed the paperwork, and even got a receipt, so she has no idea what this woman's ranting about. She in no way stole any money from her. She doesn't appreciate the plaintiff going around telling people she did, and owes this crazy plaintiff nothing. She's accused of taking the money and running.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff gave a friend of a friend her bank card so she could get bailed out of jail, and the woman stole the loot. But the defendant says she gave the plaintiff the dough. It's the case of you bailed on me.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
All right, Ms. Wilson, you are suing your former buddy, Ms. Krepp, for $700, the amount you say she owes you for bail money. Tell me about it.
Okay, so on July 5th, 2016, I had an incident with another female, and I ended up going to jail. The police, they rode up on me. I had my newborn son with me. Cameos.
Wait, you had your newborn son with you when you had an incident with another woman that put you in jail?
No, the person had, I guess, put out a warrant on me.
Oh, okay.
So the police
So
came.
the arrest came later?
Yes.
Okay.
So my neighbor, she was outside when the police rode up on me, and the defendant. So when they rode up on me, the defendant and the neighbor came up, and they was like, what's going on? So I told my neighbor to take my bank card, my baby, and my car keys, go to the bank and get $700 and come down and bail me out. When I got there, I called her. She said that we're here to bail you out, but Cameo's gonna bail you out because I don't have my ID and she won't take me back to the house.
Okay, but the money with which she was gonna bail you out was the money that they had withdrawn?
Yes, from my
How did they withdraw it? How did they
my
get
bank card.
Oh, with your bank card?
Yes.
Okay, and then, but your friend doesn't have a license, so the person who signs?
No, my friend doesn't know how to drive. So she was driving.
I don't care who was driving, who signed?
She signed.
Is that accurate?
That's this right here.
What, for the bail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're here about. What do you think we're here about?
I signed for
All right,
that.
so she signs, and
Yes.
then what happens?
And then after she signs, she comes out and she gives me the 2 bail thingies. And I know, of course, this doesn't mean nothing. You could give me this, but as long as you sign, it's gonna come to you. So anyhow, I've been going to court for
How do you know that?
Because I've been to jail before when I was younger.
Exactly. That's how people know that.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Yes. So anyhow, when the trial was over and my bail was released, I called her.
Right. So the way it's supposed to work is the money is supposed to ensure your appearance in court. So the
Correct.
trial's over. What ends up happening?
Oh, it ended up being good on my part because the person was lying on me.
No, but what happened? Did a judge try the case or a jury?
No, it didn't. It didn't even have to go to trial because the person.
It didn't go to trial.
Yes, it didn't go to trial.
So it ends up dismissed.
Yes.
So that means that the bail money in its entirety is going to be sent back because you posted the whole bail yourself, or
Right.
the bail was posted personally and not through a bail bondsman.
Right.
So now there's no reason to keep the money. The government has no reason to keep the money because they don't need to ensure your appearance anymore.
Correct.
You came, you conquered. Okay. So you can't collect it because it's not in your name. Your
Correct.
friend can't collect it because it's not in her name. It's in her name. Did someone collect it?
Yes. She collected, and I have a recording of the bail list saying that she released it to her, and I
Okay.
have.
Did you collect $1,000?
Yeah.
No.
What did you collect?
$700.
Was it? Oh, I'm sorry. $1,000 was in my head. $700, right?
Yes.
So you got the $700.
Yes.
And it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to her.
Yes, not all of it. Because
Why not all
because
of it?
Who does anything for free? I had to bail her out. I had to drive with no license. And on top of it, she was telling the court that I was going to steal her money before she even got it. She was telling everybody I was going to steal her money. Her son used to date my daughter. Her son broke up with my daughter 5 months before the bail was released.
12 and 14. Ain't no dating. Okay. My son don't date nobody, okay? Yeah. That's why he couldn't date her.
Okay. She was telling everybody I was going to steal her money. How did I even have a chance to steal it? I'm the one
I don't know, but
there.
apparently she's clairvoyant because you did steal her money.
No, I didn't.
That's why we're here.
All the money's
you
not
stole
hers.
her money.
All the money's not hers.
So if you're upset that her son broke up with your daughter, sorry, sweetie. You know, there's
for
many
her
fish in the
lying.
sea.
It's not okay for her to lie.
Over the thought that you steal the money, I would think that you as a mother might not then steal the money. Why did you return the $700?
So, if somebody spends time doing something, but they don't have an agreement up front to be paid for their time, can they charge for it after the fact if there's a financial dispute?
No.
Because?
Because they're trying to charge for something that they're not giving any, ownership to.
What do you say?
I don't think it's right. They don't ought to charge somebody for doing something after the fact.
You can't do it after the fact, but you're doing real work. I mean, can you charge for the time you spent to accomplish a task?
No, I don't think so, unless it was agreed on.
Up front?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, going inside the courtroom.
When she came and I told her, I said, out of the $700, we are in agreement, it's on recording that I get something. She wouldn't tell me what I was gonna get or nothing, was popping up at people's houses that she didn't even know I was at, sitting outside of apartment complexes before she even got the bail released. She was starting all these problems since July. For what? Because I helped her out? I never even got a thank you.
Judge, that makes sense.
No, just stop. I'm trying to understand what your rationale is for keeping someone else's $700.
I did text her afterwards and said, we need to figure this out, we need to get up. She ignored me and threatened me, said, I gave my lawyer your address, you're going to jail. Everything, even before the bail even got released to me. She was threatening me. So why am I gonna make everything easier for her?
So you
I did all this
took
without
her
even a thank you.
$700 and you kept it.
Not all of her stuff. I don't think it's all should be hers.
But you did keep all of it.
Yep.
That's why we're here.
Sure did. After dealing with this for 6, 7, 8 months of her talking crap about me, saying I'm going to take something that I didn't even have in my possession.
And according to you?
Your Honor, listen. When she was down there...
That's what I'm here for.
Right, exactly. Now, when she was down there, when the bail money got released, I called...
Were you trash talking before the bill?
No, Your Honor.
I don't see why what would be the incentive for someone who is at your mercy to trash talk about you before you say, I'm going to keep me some of this, which comes out of left field. Because she thought you were a friend and doing a friend a favor. But you can't enforce, you can't just decide to hold her money hostage because
she agreed to
you
give
don't
me money, though.
No, she didn't.
Okay.
She's standing there getting arrested by the cops. She's getting dragged out. She's got a baby. She's handing a bank card to the friend. Nobody agreed to do that. That's not true. You know why she was calling you a thief? Because you are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Verdict for the plaintiff, $700.
That's okay, bum.
I am pretty. Don't get it twisted. You like a trick. You like a trick. You like a trick. Don't get it twisted. You like a trick.
All right, let's you step over here, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, there's no love lost between the two of you right now.
Not. Absolutely not.
But you understand you owe the money? Right?
No.
What did you want to keep? How much did you want to keep?
Anything. Nothing's for free. I could have left her in jail, and that's what I should have done. She'll be back in jail because that's where she goes.
The point is, you keep saying something. How much did you want?
I don't. Doesn't
$100?
a thank you?
$200?
A thank you?
You didn't even get that.
I didn't even get a thank you. I didn't even get a thank you.
Okay. Well, she is still talking in here. Come on, come on out, Ms. Wilson. What are you saying?
I'm a boss. My name is Siobhan Wilson. I'm a boss, straight from Rochester, New York.
You're a what?
That's me. A boss.
A boss?
A boss, me. My name is Siobhan Wilson, straight from Rochester. I'm a boss. She's mad because she's dirty, doesn't have anything. She thought she's going to keep it, but like I said, we could go in the court show and exploit you.
I haven't asked you anything yet.
No problem. You ain't got to. I'm a boss. I'm a talk.
All right. Well, you got your money. You happy?
That's right. Yes, I am. Very
3 cheers.
happy. Yes.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. Stay out of jail. Harvey?
You know, I mean, I got to say, Doug, this guy said it right. I mean, got to agree up front or you don't get the money. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Jesse Cooper. He says he called the defendant's company to come diagnose a problem he was having with his dryer, and they told him he needed a new control board, and it would cost him $500. He knows a ripoff when he sees one, and got the part for only $100 and installed it himself. The dryer still didn't work, so he called another company, and they told him the vent was clogged, and there were no other problems. He's now suing the defendant for the return of his $165.74 service fee because they misdiagnosed the original problem. This is the defendant, Ed Curry. He says the plaintiff fixed the dryer with the piece they diagnosed it as needing, and his request for a refund's totally unfair. As a goodwill gesture, he offered to return half the service fee to keep him happy. The stubborn man refused, and here they are. He's accused of blowing hot air.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to figure out what was wrong with his dryer and says the guy ripped him off. But the defendant says he earned every penny. It's the case of dryer. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mr. Cooper, you are suing the appliance repair shop that Mr. Curry works for. You're the general manager?
Yes, I am.
You have authority to represent the owner here?
I do.
For $165.74, $155.15 of it for a service call that they charge you, and $10.59 for shipping that you had to pay for parts that you say you didn't really need because their diagnosis was wrong. Tell me what happened.
I moved into a beautiful new house with a beautiful new wife.
I'm right here. I can hear you. Okay. Take it down a few decibels and start over. Go ahead.
The washing machine worked fine. The dryer did not.
This is a new house.
This is a new house.
But not new to you.
New to me, second-hand appliances.
Okay.
The dryer didn't work.
Okay. They come over, and it's not Mr. Curry who comes over. It's somebody else.
Correct.
Right. And what happens?
And he took a look at the machine. He was there for a few minutes, and he told me the control board was bad. It would be $500 for them to replace it.
Wow. Okay. How much did a new dryer cost?
Not a whole lot more than that.
Right. Okay. So what happens?
So I declined for them to do the service at that time. He charged me for coming out.
And the charge was $155.15?
Correct.
Okay.
I looked into the control board. It was a little over $100. So I ordered it myself. I put it in.
Wait, how do you know how to put in a control board?
I watched him take the old one out to test it.
That's what my dad did his whole life. He just, he would call in somebody to repair something, and his head would be right over the person's shoulder the whole time, and they would say, get lost, and he's like, I'm not getting lost, I'm paying for this. And then he never hired them a second time because he learned how to do it himself. So what do you do for a living?
I work in finance.
Yeah, that's why this is so shocking. All right, so you watched him take it out, and it wasn't hard? It was just like flip a piece out?
It was a couple wires and plugs.
Okay, and then what happens?
The dryer still didn't work, so I called them up and said, your diagnosis doesn't appear to be correct. I did what you told me was wrong, and it didn't fix the dryer.
And they're saying, well, you're not a professional.
Correct.
Right, I don't blame them.
And so he said, since you're not a professional, if you can bring another professional in and have them confirm that they can tell you what is wrong, and it's not what we said was wrong, then we'll refund your money.
Who told you that?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
All right, and then what happens?
There was another iteration. They told me, no, it's the wrong board. You got to get a different board. I got a different board. We did the whole thing over again.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean it's the wrong?
They told me I had tried to replace the wrong board. That wasn't what was wrong.
What board had you tried to replace?
A control board.
What is the part number for the control board?
I have it here if you'd like it.
Give me the last 4 digits.
Sure.
The first one you ordered was?
Ending 7612.
That's the one, the first one you ordered?
That is the first one I ordered.
And then you put that in, and that didn't fix it.
Correct.
And then they say, oh, no, there's a second control board.
Correct.
All right, and then you ordered that one?
Correct.
May I see the paperwork from you ordering that one?
The second one.
Yeah, and returning it, because according to you, you didn't need it, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, okay, this is 7612.
That's the second one. You had asked for the first one.
All right, which is, I want you to listen to me. I want 4 pieces of paper. I ordered it, I returned it, I ordered it, I returned it. Right? That's what you should have because you're saying that's what you did.
Correct. I don't have the return for the first one because I'm not charging for shipping.
Say that again.
I don't have the return for the first one because they refunded my shipping. I showed you the purchase and the return for the second one because I'm out the shipping on the second one.
Okay, and according to you, you ordered the first one and returned the first one.
Correct.
All right, because according to you guys, and you're the manager, but I don't know what you know about this case.
I was speaking to him from the beginning.
Everything
everything
are you the one
goes
who told
through.
him that if you get somebody to say we did it wrong, we'll return your money?
I was part of that too.
Okay.
I was
All
part
right.
of.
So is it accurate that you told him, wait, you ordered the wrong board?
Right.
Okay. It was the second board, the one he needed to order, the one that ends in the part that ends in 7612.
That was the first one he ordered. The 1-2 part was the one that he ordered initially. I talked to him about that, and he told me which one it was. The part that we diagnosed and said that he should use ends in 15902. That one is the correct part that should have been put in the machine.
And according to you, you did order 15902.
Correct.
And you returned 15902 because
Correct.
when you put in 15902, that also didn't work.
Correct.
Okay. So now let's talk about this. You get a call from him and he tells you, hey, it had nothing to do with that part because it's working perfectly fine now. And you called, and the way you learned that, according to you, is because you called another company in.
I called LG, the manufacturer, and they sent an authorized representative.
All right. And then they fixed it.
They diagnosed that they couldn't clear the vent. They do appliance repair. They don't do vent cleaning. But
They
determined,
diagnosed correctly that the vent needed cleaning.
Correct.
Who ended up cleaning the vent?
I did.
And did it work?
It sure did.
Okay. So now, do you have something from the second people saying it just needed vent clearing?
I do.
Let me see that. Okay, so what it sounds to me like he's missing is proof that that second board isn't still installed in there.
That was the number one thing. But secondly, if I could clarify, taking off a vent is not going to make your...
Here's what G&A Appliance Repair says. Unit vent is blocked. Need to call a vent cleaning company.
Right.
Unit disconnected from the wall and is working 100% fine.
Of course, if I put that second board in...
That's it. Stop, gentlemen. We're going to put a pin on it. I'm going to take a recess because I am sure that if we let you loose on a computer, you're going to be able to find proof of the return.
Yes,
so
Your
we're
Honor.
all in agreement that if that second board isn't still in the machine, then you guys it happens. You guys misdiagnosed it. You should return the guy's money. So I'm going to take a short recess, and you're going to show me how fast you are with your fingers on a computer. Give this man a computer, will you?
You got it. So how long do dryers last before you just get a new one when they break?
Usually 5, 6 years.
5 or 6 years?
Not very long because they're made cheaper now.
Well, it depends where you get it from. You get a crap.
How old are you?
I'm 13. If you get a Kmart dryer, maybe 3 months at most. You get a top quality Walmart dryer. That's like 15 years.
Wait a minute. Your top quality is Walmart? Okay.
Okay.
Going inside the courtroom.
Were you able to obtain it?
I was.
Great.
Yes.
Show me the purchase of 902.
Here's purchase for 902.
And the return for 902.
And here's the return for
Perfect.
902.
Do you see 902? Before anybody walks to me with those papers, somebody see 902 there.
I see.
Thank you. Come over here.
He said that's the return, and this is the purchase.
The refund was for both parts.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that took longer than I'd like it to have taken. I rule in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $165.74. I'm sure you guys do your best. Sometimes it happens.
All right, thanks.
So, after a search for the evidence, the plaintiff does indeed prevail. You smiled when she looked at that. What do you think?
It's fine. I mean, sometimes things happen. I mean, it just happens. I'm
So
okay
you guys
with it.
made the mistake, right?
It was an error, and he proved it. I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah.
I mean,
Smile
we
and-
try to do our best for everybody.
Smile and
so.
give him the money, right?
It's okay.
And say bye-bye.
right.
Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Cooper, you go to a great length to get $165 back, but congratulations.
Thank
feel
you.
better?
I do. I also got pride, dignity, and justice.
Okay, good enough. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Harvey?
Hey, Doug, great example. You get an expert to back up your argument in court, and oftentimes you win.